Hey everybody, welcome to your post-show Pensky episode. We just recorded The Gift from Voyager's 4th season, and now we're going to answer a couple questions on our Discord from our beloved patrons, who, I had to say thank you for another terrific year on Patreon, everybody. It's been good. We're just wrapping it up. I'm crunching all the numbers. Business is good. But thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being the best listeners. If you're on Patreon, patreon.com/thepenskyfile. It's where you can leave your comments about these post-show things, and you can also watch the streams as we record them. So, Clay, here's the first one. Well, how are you, first of all? Are you still sick? It's been 5 minutes. Are you not better yet?
It's only been 5 minutes. It hasn't cleared up yet, no. I was going to ask, have we had an uptick in membership at all this year? Or
no, it's dropped. It's gone down.
Really? Great.
Yeah.
Same sickos.
We've lost a decent chunk on Patreon. There's still, obviously we're still doing pretty well over there. And thank you to everybody. But some people did drop off this year. We've also been, I haven't been great during Deadwood. I've not been great about content for our one podcast. That's not like the horror podcast and stuff like that. So now that Deadwood is over, I think I'm going to have some free time. In December this month on Patreon we're putting all the Deadwood content on there. So that's 4 podcasts that are in 1 month. So we'll do a little bit of a catch up.
Did we have a drop off after Picard?
No, it's been recent in the past couple of months. It's like I think it's like Voyager, and I don't know what it is really. It was probably Voyager and Deadwood, I think, causing that to happen. So I'll take the hit because I'm glad we did Deadwood. But if that is the reason why, it doesn't matter to me. Did I get to this thing? Yeah, anyway, we'll get to the question here first. I'll take this question from Christian. Do you think watching Enterprise first has hurt your impressions of Voyager? I take this... I was thinking about this. So the implication is kind of that we're more tired of Star Trek, really. That's like the negative connotation, I think. I was thinking about it, and I think I'm actually glad that I watched Enterprise first. I think that Enterprise has clued me into the flaws of Voyager that might have taken longer to recognize as flaws. And I think that Enterprise is a more perfect distillation of what Star Trek became after a while. But Voyager has a lot of that DNA at the start. And I think that it's helpful to see that. And it's highlighted for me why Voyager is Voyager is not the equal sister show to TNG and DS9. It's not just the 3 shows that were cooking all the time. Voyager's the step down from those 2 shows.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of stuff, having seen Enterprise first, that Voyager, you can see it cooking there. And I do wonder though if maybe we aren't as sensitive to that stuff if we don't watch Enterprise first, and maybe we don't stand. I think it's going to stand out negatively either way, honestly.
If we'd done this right after DS9, I think it would have been just as shocking.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do vaguely remember when we started this. I was kind of looking forward to it because, I'm a big iconography person with Star Trek, and Voyager and Enterprise is so different.
Yeah.
And Voyager is a little, visually at least, the more of a familiar look to it.
Yeah.
But so I think I'm happy we did Enterprise first.
I am too. I like doing them out of order. And I would say that it seems like it was a long time ago, but Voyager's first season was pretty decent for a season of Star Trek. Like it was a lot of 3s and a couple 4s, which is unheard of for Star Trek first season. So Voyager just ran out of gas more quickly. But no, I'm happy we watched Enterprise first, I think. And if anything, it probably gave us a more honest take on Enterprise, I think. Like, imagine doing Enterprise after we do Voyager. You would just be like, what the fuck? Like, this is a lot. So I'm glad we did it. All right. Let's see here. This question's from Poindexter. What do you hope to see from the 7 of 9 character? What do you think she could possibly add to the show?
I said in the episode that she kind of seems like she'd fill that role of the character that I like, the character archetype of the villain who joins the hero cast, and you're always kind of wondering what side of the coin they're going to fall, which side of the fence they're going to fall on.
A Garrick-esque character.
Yeah, I think that gives you, that can, if you embrace that, it can be a lot of fun, and you can get some really good stories out of it. But, if she just becomes another Voyager crew member, then it's not going to be really that interesting for me.
She, what I think she's going to bring, and I'm a little bit more familiar with it, but I think that it's like it stays a consistent thing, is that it's kind of interesting that she is brought in and she somewhat reboots the central idea of the initial pilot, which is that this is a disparate group of crew members who are stuck together that don't agree. And what Seven is going to bring and should bring is, I think we've talked about this before, like her character is antagonistic in a way that none of the other Voyager characters are antagonistic. Like Neelix is a morale chief. It's like, what the fuck? Like, this is the least interesting thing that you could do. Seven is, she has that sort of like elitist, sort of like snarky, I have a superior outlook on this kind of stuff. Like I have a different look. I have a different point of view, and it's superior to what you guys think is going on. And I think that is super helpful in a show that to this point was having a real hard time giving character interactions that meant anything, because if the characters don't disagree or don't have like very defined senses of what they are, you just end up in this technobabble hellscape for Voyager where they talk about the problem, but no one disagrees about anything. Like even on TNG, like Worf would occasionally have a difference of opinion. It was always shot down, but Worf had a different point of view about what the thing to do was. No one on Voyager really has a different point of view from anything. Even I was thinking about, we liked Tuvok a lot when Tuvok appeared. Tuvok, even to me, has just become a character who's like all the others. He just talks like a Vulcan, but he doesn't have a particularly Vulcan-y outlook on stuff. He just says things that sound Vulcan-y.
Yeah. I think there's also the possibility, and maybe you're kind of pushing your luck having 3 characters that kind of fill this role, but I think Seven fills it in a way that Tuvok and the Doctor don't, which is a character who is newly human, and so has to learn what being human is, but like is really aggressive about it.
Right.
Whereas like Tuvok and the Doctor are like, I just want to be accepted as one of you. She can be a lot more weird with it.
Right.
Be like, I just had 18 beers and I am fucked up. Do you guys do this all the time?
Yeah.
Like experiencing human things the way that, the way that Data or Tuvok or the Doctor don't.
I mean, she's similar to Data, right? I think it comes down to her attitude. She's able to approach humanity from a cynical point of view in a way. Like Odo kind of does that too. Odo's a little bit cynical about things like that. But I think that Seven is much more of like what if you took the inverse of Data and made it a character where the journey towards humanity is actually going to highlight some of potentially the flaws of being a human being, because Seven is willing to point those out because she's somewhat antagonistic about the process that's undergoing her.
It is an interesting way to do that, where if you have, you invert it and you have a character who, instead of wants to be human, actively doesn't want to be human,
right?
Or thinks being a human sucks or something, in a way that the other ones don't, because it's always humanity is the aspiration. And so to have a character in a similar situation where it's like, this kind of sucks actually. That could be pretty fun.
It is interesting. And I can see why she's considered an important addition to this show, because the show is severely lacking in that thing. So we'll see. Let's see here. Any other? Let's see. What other comments do I want to do?
The one thing Woodrow brought up in the comment section.
Sure.
About the catsuit.
Oh, you want me to pop it up here? It says, of course, it sounds bad when you call it a catsuit. Serena wears a compression garment, and so do old people. It stops blood clots.
I was going to say, I wish the doctor had said something to that effect. If he had been like, this is a regenerative thing that will help heal your body or something. I think that would have at least been a good in-universe explanation as to why she needs to wear skin-tight clothing. But
and then the doctor's just like, it's also time for your breast exam, so just pop them out, miss. It's time to see if you have any lumps. Let's see here. All right, final question. Who of the remaining would you ditch instead of Kes, or was Kes the right choice?
Neelix, easily. I feel like I've answered this like 20 times.
It's Neelix. Although I think that the point that I made in the podcast about this episode of The Gift didn't really do anything for Kes for me. I don't know. There's like it's kind of interesting, right? Like when Worf came in to DS9, no one got replaced, right? They just added Worf to the show.
Yeah.
What? It must have just been a budgetary thing, right? Like we just can't have another cast member on the show. We just have to cut somebody out of here because I don't know why you wouldn't just add them. I understand the cutting because I think that Kes, like where did Kes go wrong, I guess is the way to take this question. Kes went wrong in the same way that a lot of the Voyager characters went wrong in that they are not very well defined from the start. So when you have someone who's not well defined and she gets powers that are super vague and meaningless, it's just this. After you do 3 seasons of a show like that, when you start trying to define your character, I think we'd start going, if episodes like that popped up, we'd go like, Kes plays racquetball? What the fuck? Like, what is this? Like, I've never seen this before. Kes is just a vanilla person who doesn't say anything. And I think that's where you have to start replacing them.
Yeah, and I mean, much like the show itself, Kes, great concept. They do nothing with it. Where she dies when she's 9 years old. So she's got to live an entire life as much as she can. And what does that mean as far as her approach to things or exploration or anything like that? They never get into it. It only comes up like once or twice through the whole existence. Should the gift have been the end of her life? If they were just going to do that, just be like, Kes has hit the end of her Ocampin lifetime. I mean, sure, I guess you could. Then it's just her exploding, pushes the ship 10,000. Yeah. I don't know. I feel bad. I feel bad for that situation. I think that's just kind of a sad, especially because her life turned out so poorly after all this stuff. It's just like, I don't know. This is a bad decision. All right, I guess that's it. Thanks, everybody, for listening to the post-show coverage of The Gift. We answered those questions. You can leave questions on our Discord. If you join the Patreon, you get access to the Captain Ready Room. If you're at the $10 tier, you can leave comments there. And we'll be back with the next podcast, which is Day of Honor, in a couple days. Check out all the other content. Claire, do you have anything you want to say? Check out Rotten Horror Picture Show on Patreon. Come to the end of the year. Video Nasties. We got Lucio Fulci's Zombie is the last one of this year. And the next year we're doing the Halloween series. So that should be fun. Oh, right. Yeah, I almost said Friday the 13th, but no, the Halloween series. Check it out. Patreon.com/The Pensky File. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll see you in a couple days. Bye.